Kill lust, not desire. Lust is just the shadow side of sexual desire. And let it go now. I am Sebastien, your addiction recovery coach. If you want to know how to kill lust and let it go, stay till the end of this video. What is lust? Lust is just the shadow side of sexual desire. You have to understand there is nothing wrong with sexual desire. If you see sexual desire as something wrong, that is when you will start having issues. Sexual desire is not wrong in and of itself. There's nothing wrong with sex. There's nothing wrong with masturbation. But if it is done out of compulsion, or if you are overwhelmed by that sexual desire, it becomes a problem. And generally speaking, I'm going to talk about this first. When you are overwhelmed with sexual desire, it is because you see it as something unwholesome. You see it as something bad. You see this as a sin. I'm telling you, the more you see your sexual desire as something dirty, as something sinful, the harder it will be for you to deal with sexual desire because you will not accept it. But unfortunately, sexual energy is so powerful and potent, it will come back one way or another. And we have seen people who suppress and repress their sexual energy. We have seen the consequence. Look at the priest in the Catholic Church. When you repress and suppress your sexual energy, when you don't deal it with the proper tools, it will come back, and it come back ways that are really insidious for yourself and for others, obvious. So beware and be aware. Sexual desire, sexual energy is not something you want to play with. It is something you want to take very seriously. And now let's talk about lust is just sexual desire gone wrong. And let's talk about compulsion. We live in a society where most men have been brought up, myself included, with porn. And porn becomes a compulsion. And when you watch porn, you hypersexualize your mind. You have the lustful thoughts. And all men know what I'm about to say. Sometimes when you watch porn, it is so overwhelmed. You are so overwhelmed by the moment. Your mind is completely overwhelmed with lust. It is like you become out of control. You are lost in lust. You can't get enough, but you are completely possessed. You become someone who has given up self-control completely. You have given in to your compulsion wholeheartedly, and it's completely overwhelming you. And I was in this situation. I know how it feels like. And that is not what you want in your life. But it can happen also without porn. When I was living in Thailand, I had given up porn, but I was still addicted to my ejaculation. I was doing it out of compulsion. I was going to massage parlor, hooking up with women, going to see prostitutes. I was still very lustful. I was doing it out of compulsion. I was doing it to seek sexual gratification and validation. I was doing it for unwholesome reasons. That is why sexual energy is important for us to deal with in the proper way. And when you decide to have sex or decide to masturbate, which are not unwholesome activity, it becomes unwholesome when you do it, as I said, as out of compulsion for the wrong reason. If you are doing it to deal with stress, with anxiety, with any type of negative emotion, it is unwholesome. If you do it out of compulsion to escape negative emotion and negative feeling, as I said, but also to just fulfill the need to ejaculate at any cost. David Data, the author of The Way of the Superior Man, mentioned in his book that a man should be in control of his ejaculation, not the other way around, where he is controlled by his ejaculation. When you suppressing that sexual energy is not good. It's not a good thing to do. But indulging in it out of compulsion is not good in and of itself. But if you do it moderately, it is not a compulsion, but just a byproduct of a connection you have with a woman or a connection you have with yourself when you masturbate without porn every now and then, when you are feeling good. But it's not a compulsion. It's just a way to enjoy the moment and enjoy your body. It is not a bad thing. It's actually very wholesome. Now, if you decide to become chaste and become celibate or become a monk, more power to you. But that video is not really for you. I'm talking about us laymen who live modern day life, who live in the real world. Not to say that being a monk lives in a false world, but we live in the day-to-day modern life. So we need tools to be able to deal with that sexual energy. And the best way to let go of lust, to kill lust, so to speak, is to practice meditation. Whether you're still watching porn or you're still addicted to your ejaculation or both, you have a lot of lustful thoughts, that will help you tremendously. Let's say right now you have an urge to have sex for unwholesome reason or want to masturbate. What you do with this urge is you relax your body completely. And once your body is relaxed, you just breathe in and breathe out. You don't try to fight that urge. You don't try to resist it, to be tense about it. You just let go of that tension, let go of this resistance by relaxing it. The simple act of relaxing your body will help you tremendously. Because when you relax, you allow that sensation to be in your body. You're not trying to indulge it. You're not trying to repress it. You just let it be. And once your body is completely relaxed and you are breathing in and breathing out, and once you accept it, that sensation will just fade. Not only will you accept it, you won't see it as an urge. You don't need to label that urge as a sexual urge, as a porn urge. You just see it as a body sensation. That will help you tremendously to let go of the thoughts surrounding that urge. Because you just are with this urge. You don't think about it. You don't feed those thoughts. You let go of them. You just are aware of that sensation in your body. And you relax your body completely without trying to push it away, without trying to force it away, without trying to indulge it. And you will see that by just doing that, it will just fade. And the more you do that, the faster it will fade and the weaker it will get. So even when it comes back, your letting go muscle will be so strong. Letting go of that urge will be so easy because it will be so weak. At one point, it will come like cloud in the sky. It will just pass you by. It will be so easy for you to deal with. Now, it does not mean that you will not fail, but you need to be consistent and put some effort in it. Not a lot. You don't want to use your willpower, but put some effort into being consistent with the practice I just mentioned. And you will see, by being consistent, by putting in some effort and being disciplined with it, over time, lust will not be a problem. Because every time that an urge will come up, this urge is the beginning of lust, you will be able to deal with it, with that urge. That is how you deal with sexual addiction, without indulging in it too much and without repressing it. And that is how you become a man who has desexualized his mind and know how to deal with sexual energy. And then the world is your oyster, to be honest. Because a man who knows how to deal with his sexual energy can achieve a lot more than a man who's overwhelmed by his sexual energy. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Sebastien, your addiction recovery coach, and I'm here to help those of you give up on sexualizing mind and other addictive compulsions and behavior. Links are in the description box below. I'm sure I can help.